Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful kind of early June morning. It has been a little bit since I have taken you through my gardens and done a garden walkthrough. So I thought that today would be a great day before it gets super hot. We've had such beautiful weather. It has been very, very just mild in the mornings. This morning is warmer, but the previous week has been in the 60s, almost sweatshirt weather. So it's going to get really hot here over the next week. So I thought I should probably get in a garden walkthrough while everything is still looking pretty fresh and good. And I'm just starting you out here in front of my beautiful hydrangea. This is the incredible hydrangea. It is the one that is doing the absolute best out of any that I have. And it's funny because it's sitting under this Merlot redbud, beautiful Merlot redbud. And so it gets quite a bit of shade, but it is just this beautiful, brilliant white right now. So, so pretty. And right behind it is my Dwarf Glow Blue Spruce and these beautiful roses. These are proven winners. Oh So Easy Red Rose. They're actually a little beyond what their peak was this past week. Some flowers are starting to fade, but just a gorgeous rose. These are looking spectacular. And they also get a good amount of shade, but are blooming really nicely, really profusely. I just really, really love them. And right behind them, I don't know if you can see, is my clematis. That is the Jolly Good Clematis, I believe is its name. It is on its second year. Let me see if I can get any closer to it. So it's not super profuse yet, but I just absolutely love the purple peeking out behind these pink roses. I think it is such a pretty combination. I can't wait till that fills out that obelisk really, really nicely. It's so beautiful. So I am just gonna walk you down this direction. I just wanted to start you out by these roses since they are looking so pretty. And right in front of them, I have some, I think it's the Serendipity Allium that will be blooming within the month. You can see the buds are starting to form on those. I love when they come out. They just complement these roses so well. Sorry if I'm a little shaky. I'm working around my splint today. You can see my hand splint. So I'm using one arm to film. It's kind of tough, but doing my best. These are the Proven Winners Daisy May Daisies. I absolutely cannot believe how much growth these have put on since last year. I just put them in last year and they are probably almost 3 feet tall. They have just exploded in growth. An absolutely amazing daisy, which I think is what they're actually called, the Amazing Daisy line. But I definitely want to split these and put these throughout my gardens. So beautiful. And this is a Red Beauty Holly right behind them that will get up to about 8 feet tall. So that will fill out that wall a little bit better. And we invested in another hose link. Since I hurt my hand, there was no way I would be able to roll up hoses. So we went ahead and bought another hose link right away. Absolutely the best thing we've ever done for our garden. I'm not sponsored or affiliated with them. I just love those hose reels so, so much. Definitely worth the investment. And then my sedum, Autumn Joy sedum, are looking really nice. And there's 2 rhododendrons just flanking the AC unit. And I want to show you, this is my Thomas Edison Dahlia that I left in the ground that is looking absolutely fantastic. It is huge and thriving. I can't wait to see it bloom. And I'm going to show you all the new additions that we've done in the past couple of weeks. I have not shown all of it, actually, you know, planting it because of my hand issue, but we have done a lot behind the scenes. I put in these raspberry ripple zinnia right here that I had left over. I thought that that would bring a nice little pop of color right there with the purple dahlia. And right behind here, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I stuck these 3 Soraya sunflowers. I don't know if you can see those right back in here. These are a branching sunflower and they will get around 5.5 feet tall as long as I can keep the bunnies away from them. But I think that those will look really pretty, just kind of peeking out over this fence here. So we're gonna give that a try. And let's take a walk through my gate and see what's going on in my main border here. So this is my main flower walkway, I kind of consider it, and we've done a little bit of work just getting some things in the ground back here. Things are starting to really look beautiful and some things are starting to bloom. You can see my Limetta hydrangeas in the distance there are absolutely stunning. We recently added these trellises, which need adjusting. They are pretty crooked, but I really am enjoying the backdrop that they provide, and I'm going to be thinking about what I can grow up those trellises in the future here. I think I would like something that I don't have to cut back, that stays really well maintained and just can kind of provide a nice evergreen backdrop. I'm not sure if that's too much to ask for, but I'm gonna do my research to figure out what I want to grow up those trellises. I'm going to show you up close here some of the things. I did do a video where I showed a lot of this stuff where I planted some hollyhocks back there that I grew from seed that will not be blooming until next year, and some desert sunflowers, which are also a branching variety, so they put on multiple blooms compared to like a single stem that only puts on one big bloom and will bloom a little bit more throughout the season. And I have some dahlias that I put in. This is a Molina fleur dahlia, as well as another one over here. And this one is starting to look better. I'm so happy. If you saw that video, it was really wilted and not looking so good, but it's looking like it's starting to perk up again. So that makes me happy. And some Mystic Spires blue salvia. I had lost one over the winter, so I added that little one right there. And then these 2 came back. They are absolutely beautiful and just huge. So pretty. The bees absolutely love these. And right in front, right behind the boxwood hedge here, I had put in some zinnias that I grew from seed. This is all, let's see, I think Oklahoma mix and early bird, maybe zinnias, if I'm remembering correctly. And they are doing well. They obviously need to put on a lot of growth, but I spread them all down the front right behind the boxwoods here. And my sweet peas are looking good. I think that I am going to get some flowers soon. I have them all around this obelisk. I see some buds coming. That makes me so happy because every other year the rabbits have just gotten them and eaten them right to the ground. So I was successful this year in protecting them. I'm probably going to do some purple hyacinth bean vine on this obelisk next. I have some growing from seed. I have some dahlias, more dahlias and hollyhocks, sunflowers that will peek right up behind the salvia here. The desert sun gets about 6 feet tall, I think, and just a real pretty like reddish yellow orangish color. I have another dahlia right back in there that hopefully will pop up in between the salvia and this limetta hydrangea. Look at this hydrangea. It is so beautiful. This is the limetta hydrangea, Proven Winners hydrangea. It has exploded in growth and is looking absolutely gorgeous. And I love how the blooms come out earlier than some of like the panicle hydrangeas, like the limelight. And we also added in these coleus right here. There's 3 in front of the crepe myrtle. This is a Tonto crepe myrtle. These should get pretty big. They hopefully will tower over the boxwood here and just provide a really nice backdrop and contrast between this green boxwood hedge and then the green leaf on the crepe myrtle. The crepe myrtle eventually will get a kind of watermelon hot pink color. I think will really complement these nicely. Last year I had some sun patience in there and they didn't get tall enough. They kind of hid behind the boxwood. So my hope is that those coleus, and they do kind of do well in part sun to shade, which they get right here. So I'm hoping that they do really well. And another beautiful limetta hydrangea. Looking so, so pretty. Bring you right around here. I have a denim and lace Russian sage that is starting to put on its blooms. So pretty. Love that plant so much. And then right back in here is where I seeded a bunch of zinnias. So we'll see how they do. And I put a border in the front here with these raspberry ripple zinnias that are my absolute favorite. They do so well. Beautiful pink and white kind of striped color. Rabbit resistant, bug resistant. They just did so well for me last year. So I think that that'll be really pretty. And I was at Home Depot the other day, needed some plant therapy, and picked up this Midnight Masquerade penstemon, which I just love. Look at the beautiful dark stem on that and the purple flower. The bees have already been all over it. Can't wait for that to grow, and I'm gonna split that and spread more throughout my garden. It's so, so pretty. And I needed to show you my poppy that's blooming. I did not have luck with poppies, but this little bunch right here is the only grouping that really grew up. For some reason, this poppy is a different color. Not sure what's going on with that, but they were all supposed to be this ladybird poppy with the black spots in the center and the red petals. It's so pretty. So I'm just enjoying this one little bunch right here. And behind it, I put a dahlia. It's a mixture of creme de cassis and Thomas Edison. So I'm hoping that that'll kind of grow up big right here and kind of help to flank this whole little grouping of zinnias. So we'll see how that goes. But everything just, it's so pretty. Love the hydrangeas so much. I'm just gonna walk over this way and swing you around to the other side here. There's more deck building going on over there, so if you hear the noises, that's what that is. Right over here in front of this derunk boxwood hedge, we put in this grouping of Magellan zinnias. These zinnias stay on the shorter side, about 12 inches tall, so nice and tidy, and I think that they will fill out this little border right here very nicely. as long as I can keep the rabbits away again. And I added in these apricota cosmos that I had grown from seed. I did this yesterday. They're flopping over from being watered last night. And then I had transplanted these anemone. This is the Fall in Love Sweetly anemone from the other side over here. They're not looking the greatest right now. They will bloom in the fall with a beautiful pink bloom. My Limelight Prime Hydrangea is really putting on some nice growth, beautiful dark, almost purple stems. This blooms a little bit earlier than the regular Limetta, so looking forward to seeing that. And right below that, we put in this HS State Dahlia that gets a really pretty kind of corally color bloom, a single flower. So the bees and butterflies really love it. And right beyond that, I have a phlox that the rabbits have eaten down, unfortunately. And I put in another little row of raspberry ripple zinnias right along the front here. And this is a status that I got at church for Mother's Day. It was a free perennial. I think it's really pretty. It's just this really light blue color when it flowers. So I just stuck it there for right now. And just kind of this, almost like a broad leaf right there. So I thought that was very interesting. And a peony that is, you know, struggling. And look at this, my Royal Sunset Lily is blooming. So pretty, that orangey, kind of purpley, it's like a purple red orange color almost. It's kind of leaning to the right because it's stretching for the sun. My purple pillar Rose of Sharon are getting really big and starting to kind of shade out this area a little bit in front. So I'm gonna have to, you know, keep that in mind when I put plants in here, that I really should be looking into things that do well in sun to part sun, which lilies typically do. I think it'll be okay. This is an herb pot that I added that the bunnies have been getting, which I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but I tried to put in herbs that they don't like. I have a thyme and a sage, and this is a beautiful oregano. This is the Kent Beauty oregano that gets very pretty, almost pink flowers on it. And this rosemary. They have eaten part of the oregano and part of the rosemary. And I thought that those were both pretty rabbit resistant, but I don't know. The rabbits must be really hungry because they are eating them. And right in front, or right to the side of my little raspberry ripple zinnias, I placed this little grouping of Comfrena. They are super tiny. I grew them from seed. I'm hoping that they do okay. This is the Strawberry Fields Comfrena. They get really pretty red, almost strawberry looking blooms on them. And I have just a grouping of daisies and black-eyed Susans back here. And this is an orange blaze Nephofia that I just put in. So it's really not gonna bloom fantastic this year. And then I'm going to be adding a Powell pink coneflower to the left. I had some die over this past winter, so I need to find them, which I have not been able to find yet. I don't know why, but hopefully I can find those soon. And I have this pattern of, this is the Cat's Pajamas Nepeta, and I added in Lady's Mantle this year. I was so happy to find that at one of my local garden centers. I had that at my other house and just loved it. I think it's so pretty, and I love how it catches the raindrops when it rains. They just kind of settle on the leaves and look so beautiful. So I did this repeating pattern of the Lady's Mantle and Cat's Pajamas Nepeta all the way down here. Right here is a Redemption elephant ear. This will get a really pretty, like almost magenta pink striping down the middle as it gets hotter. And hopefully it'll get taller for me a little bit, I'm hoping. And this is a very unique elephant ear because it is actually supposed to be hardy down to zone 7. So technically I could possibly leave this in the ground, which would be amazing. So I may give that a try this year, see how it goes. But I'm super, super excited to see how that turns out. And so I just kind of have this repeating pattern with the black-eyed Susans and the daisies, the pink coneflower that I'm gonna add, and then I have the iris back there that is done blooming, and we put in these Dahlia. These are the Mystic Illusion Dahlia. They get really pretty, bright, cheery, yellow, open flowers, single flowers, so the pollinators love them. And my Helen Weinstein lamb's ear is looking fantastic, just spreading and growing. I was gonna be dividing that this year, but with my hand, I'm not gonna be doing any dividing or heavy work like that for sure this year. There are lots of noises this morning. I had to wait for those sirens to pass, but I slept off, I think, at my lamb's ear, and I have this little lime hydrangea right behind it. This was my support system for it last year. I need to have somebody restring that for me. As it gets bigger, it kind of can lean on that to support it a little bit. And I have more of the Mystic Illusion Dahlia right here. You can see a little bud forming, so it's gonna get some flowers pretty soon. I just really love the dark foliage and how it contrasts against all of the green. I really want to do a better job at adding contrasting foliage and texture, just adding in more plants that bloom all throughout the season. Right now it's kind of pretty, I guess I would say, summer heavy in color and plants, so I just really want to try to add a greater variety along here. Just kind of a repeated pattern with the elephant ear and my groupings of daisies and coneflower and black-eyed Susans and not the lamb's ear, the lady's mantle and the denim and lace. I'm sorry, did I say denim and lace? Cat's pajamas, Nepeta. I always get those two confused. And then I also put in a little grouping of Gomphrena right here. Again, very tiny, hopefully they take off. This is the Strawberry Fields Gomphrena. And I have a lily. This lily is a stargazer lily that has not yet bloomed. I'm a little surprised that it has not multiplied. It only has, well, it had 3 stems. We stepped on one of them, but I was thinking that it would have multiplied by now, but it has not. And then right behind are all of my foxglove that I am letting just kind of go to seed. Right behind, they're all done blooming. I did go ahead and I planted up some new clumps that I had grown from seed back in there to help ensure that I have more next year. And my new garden bench that my mom had in her garden that she gave me, just loving that. I was gonna try to plant zinnias underneath it for this year. I may have to wait on that. I'm actually gonna be going away. My husband will still be here, but I'm a little worried about all of these things that I've just planted and how they're gonna do without me being here. I might have some casualties. So I know he'll do his best, but you know, he works and is very busy, so I just can't expect him to be out here like I am. So I might wait on that, but beautiful wee weight hydrangeas in front of the bench. They are perfect height and size for right there, and my caramel heuchera are looking so pretty. Loving that color that they add in this corner here. So overall, some really pretty things and lots of pretty things to come. Let's go take a walk into the shade because whew, it is getting hot. I'm really starting to get sweaty. Just gonna walk you past our patio here. I have lots of dreams for the patio to add some things along this back wall to help it not be so kind of bare and stark. And one day soon I'll show you my little veggie container garden that I started back there and the rest of my containers that we planted up. I just couldn't do all of that on camera with my injury. So I've had lots of help from family. But let's just walk by our green giants here. Actually, it's not very shady right now. It gets shady in that, like, I don't know, around 11 maybe, it gets real shady. But my hosta are doing fantastic. I transplanted these Patriot hosta from the front from my porch. They are just taking off and looking beautiful. And I have a April Remembered Camellia right back there that I put in this year that is also just taking off, putting on so much new growth, doing really well. And then my kids, actually Sadie and Carson, two of my kids, planted up this whole border for me of impatiens. I did these last year and they filled in so beautifully, just created this whole river of color along the front edge here. Now last year I did add Osmocote to these impatiens. This year I did not. I was going to put like some organic feed in the holes, but because of the circumstances, I just had them plant them directly in the ground. And then I actually came through and sprinkled flower tone all over top of them. So I'm really curious to see how these do using only the flower tone on top and no Osmocote in their planting holes. It'll be really interesting to see if they put on as good of a show this year as they did last year. I have a pink mink clematis at the base of this obelisk that has barely grown. The one on the other one has put on a lot more growth, I think because it gets a lot more sun. So we'll have to kind of monitor this situation for coming years. And then I have these beautiful Annabelle hydrangeas all along the fence that have exploded in growth. They are huge. I mean, look at this bloom. It is gigantic. I'm gonna put my my splint. It's kind of hard to tell, but you see how big that is? That is just beautiful. These have done really well and they get a lot of shade and just have done so good in this situation. And right below them, I'm probably gonna have to move them next year, are some Hanacloa grass, all gold. I'm gonna have to move those up a little bit. And then I put in 2 more this year that the rabbits ate off. But I want these to just kind of spread throughout the front here. Just adding this really pretty gold color along the border and just kind of intermixing them with the impatiens, I think will be really, really pretty. And I found a bloom on this pink mink clematis. This is starting to flower. I never got to stringing up this obelisk before I hurt my hand, so I just have it kind of draping around the obelisk. I was gonna put fishing line on there so it would have something to really grab onto, but it's looking pretty good. And then down here is where I just kind of have this shady corner with some hellebore that I added this year. Got those on clearance at Home Depot after Christmas. They're doing really well. And then down here, I just have a grouping of ferns and hosta. I have some columbine that's trying to come back from last year. Hopefully I'll get some blooms from that next year. Wiggles and squiggles hosta I need to put in the ground, and just a whole little grouping of my hosta that are looking really well, really good. My one fern in the middle, the rabbits will not leave alone, but these are the Autumn Brilliance ferns, and they also would not leave alone my heuchera this is the wild berry heuchera. So I put some cloches on those to just let them start to grow finally. And this bed is a centerpiece by this Autumn Brilliance Serviceberry. Unfortunately, both of my serviceberries have, I think it's called cedar apple rust. So the berries are not forming and just getting these little spiky growths all over them. So that is really sad to me. And the leaves are kind of dropping, and you can see they're turning kind of a rusty orange color. So that's upsetting, but I guess I could come in and spray the trees. That's a lot of work, so I'm not sure what we're gonna do about all of that. But I just really love these ferns. I think that they are so pretty. I wish the rabbits did not love them so much. And just behind them, I have this wee hosta that has these really pretty curly cute leaves on them, foliage on them. And an elegance hosta back there, a Casablanca lily here that will bloom pretty soon with beautiful white blossoms. I have a blue halcyon hosta tucked back in there, and a Woo La La that is getting huge right behind the Serviceberry. Bring you just over here quick. All of my hostas have exploded in growth. I'm gonna have to split them next year. This one is so pretty. It's getting these really beautiful purple flowers that the bees love. Really pretty variegated leaf on there. Again, it's huge. You can see my hands. Just really, really pretty. And right behind here, I have a row of Viburnum that I put in that are doing really well. They will create a corner hedge here. This is Sweet Talker Viburnum. This one is being crowded out by the hosta, by this elegance hosta. So again, I will have to fiddle around with all of this next year. Definitely not this year. I'm gonna bring you outside of the gate on my other side here and show you what's in here, and then I think I'm gonna have to call it quits because my hand is really bothering me and it's really hard to hold my phone. I need to get one of those like gimbals or something that I can hold my phone better. But I just wanted to show you this other gorgeous hydrangea. This is another incredible hydrangea. I have another one over here that is not put on as much growth. I put that in I think later than I put this one in. But this one is so beautiful, looking fantastic. I love the big blooms. And then I have it underplanted with some sun patience that are also just exploding in growth and looking so, so pretty. In the future, I would love to add some arbors over my gates. I think that would really look beautiful also. And as we come into the right, I have a new addition. This is a Sensation Honeysuckle. This is a Proven Winners Honeysuckle. It smells so good. When I smell the bloom, it just smells like a sweet, kind of almost like a honey smell, I guess. Here is the tag. I'll try to show you. I can't really pick it up, but Sensation Honeysuckle. Now, I don't know if it will outgrow this little obelisk right here eventually. I may need to move it somewhere else, but I just was excited to add that into my garden. And I have some more autumn joy sedum that I split from my plants on the other side of my house here. And this is kind of a dumping bed right now, but I did add in this rose. It's the same rose as on the other side. I just really like some continuity, and I thought adding one over here would be really nice. This is the Oh So Easy Red Rose Proven Winners. That can just kind of be the centerpiece in front of these Dragon Lady Hollies. And then I had some daffodils in here and some, let's see, I added some alyssum that I had grown from seed that I actually cut back, so it's not really flowering right now. And I have a lavender that I also grew from seed that I just stuck right in here. And that's about it. This is just kind of a work in progress. Last year I had a bunch of zinnias in here, but I'm just trying to fill it out with different perennials and some annuals. It'll get there eventually. And I have been watching the birds just coming in and out of that little birdhouse. I think they're wrens maybe. I'm not sure, or maybe finches, but there's little babies in there and I can hear them just chirping away in that birdhouse, and I'm probably disrupting the flow of things right now because Mama Bird keeps flying in and feeding them and they keep just chirping away. I just love it so much. I'll show you real quick down here. This is our little row of Sweet Talker Viburnum to create a hedge along this side of our fence. And in a previous video, we had direct sown some zinnias into this area, and they are starting to pop up. You can see all the little baby seedlings. Now, I think that they're going to need moved around a little bit. I had my daughter do it. She did a really good job, but I think that they got a little bit unevenly dispersed, I guess. So I may have to edit that a little bit as the season goes on. And then I added in all of these annuals that I grew from seed just to create this like mixed border. So I have these tall, giant yellow marigolds, and I have some really tiny ageratum that they get tall, but they're the tall blue planet ageratum. They just did not grow very, well for me from seed. So we'll see how they do. I have some apricota cosmos right here. And I also put in some zinnias that I had grown from seed. So just kind of a mixture. I'm curious to see how this little border fills out as the season goes on. And right down here in the corner, I added these delphinium. This is mid blue, I think it was called, delphinium. So we'll see if they put on any flowers for me. And then right behind them, I added in 3 sunflower. Those are the Soraya variety of sunflower. Also, they get the real bright yellow flower heads, and they get about 5.5 feet tall. So I'm hoping I can also protect those from the bunnies too. And so just one last look at these beautiful hydrangeas. I am not gonna show my face because I'm in my PJs. I guess I should have said that earlier, but the beautiful blue sky. I hope that you guys enjoy this little walk through my yard and through my gardens. Thank you so much for sticking with me and watching my videos and supporting me and praying for me. I appreciate it so much. And I hope to talk to you very soon. I hope that you guys all have a great week. Bye.